being very formal this morning. Welcome, everybody, to the PHDJ podcast. My name is Mike.
Hello, it's Joe.
How are you, sir?
Good. Good morning.
And I mean that, a lot of times I just say, how are you, as a form of greeting. But this week, I really mean it. You had quite a traumatic week, and we should talk about that. How are you?
I'm good.
Do you want to talk about this or not? I mean, are you cool?
We might as well. Because it's something that's important for the listeners, especially anybody probably 45 and up. I think that's
the new restriction or suggestion, if you will.
The new suggestion, yes, to get a colonoscopy.
See, if you didn't want to talk about it, I was just going to say to the listeners that you had something shoved up your ass this week and you don't want to talk about it. So I'm glad you actually wanted to get into the details.
Wow. That could have left a lot
of
questions on the table.
Yeah. So you had it on Monday?
I did. Had it on Monday. And, I guess the good news is it's not... is they can pretty much tell you right away if there's any
really? I figured you were gonna have to wait a while, but so you know right off the bat
that I'm okay.
Your colon is clean.
It's good. Yes, I'm good to go. I had something that my mom has. She has a severe case of it. It's called diverticulitis. It's something.
Yeah, that's a bad digestive
she can't eat like nuts or anything, and he said I have a mild case and to add a little more fiber to my diet. There were no polyps or anything like that needed to be. So I will preface it by saying that if there had been polyps, they would have biopsied them. Then they'd have to send it off. Then they have to make sure they're not cancerous or anything. So I would have had to wait if that had been the case. However, it was not. So I'll be honest, guys, for girls, whoever needs to get this done, Mike Walter, by the way, yes, I'm looking at you.
I know I'm guilty. You're
guilty.
And I'm 5 years older than you, and I haven't had my first one yet, and I need to. So when
I'm
you told me what you were doing on Monday, I was like, this should be a wake-up call to you.
It is. I would like for you to go in the next couple of months, please, when it gets a little slower for you. Not that it took me out of the game for any more than really a day. So I went on Monday at 1 p.m., so I basically stopped eating Sunday, and you just go on a clear diet, which is Jell-O, as long as it's not red or purple, or chicken broth. That's pretty much all I ate that day. The next day, same thing, coffee, no cream, chicken broth, and then I was in at 1, and I think I was out by 2:30. They made me get there an hour early. They took me back into the room. I think my appointment was actually 2 o'clock. I was in the room where they do the camera before 2 o'clock, and I was put to sleep. I mean, I literally remember her going, "You ready?" And she kind of squeezed a syringe, and I was looking at a monitor of my heart
so they
rate.
put you out completely.
Yeah, you're out.
Oh, I thought it was a local. Okay, good.
But Mike, I was only out for 35 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know they could do that.
And they brought me right back, and I kind of looked around, and I was out of the room. They had rolled me out of the room, and I was just like, "That's it." And they were like, "Yeah, you look good."
That's great.
Sat up. They gave me a ginger ale. I sat there for maybe 15 minutes. Sat on the edge of the bed, put my clothes on. You have to have a ride home. So know that. And dude, so that was probably by the time I got home, it was 3-something. By 5:30, I was on the Peloton.
Great.
I ate a sandwich, like a kind of a light, I was at a certain point you go past like I'm hungry. Like I was the first day I was like, oh my God, dude, I'm not going to make it. But now I know how people fast. It's very weird what your body does after a certain point. So if I say anything about it,
my promise. I turned 56 in April. I will get it before my 50.
There we go. Okay, all right. That's a deal. That's a deal.
Kelly's upstairs. Hopefully she heard me. I promise.
We have 600 people, or however 6,000 people that listen to this show. Just 10, witness 10,000 DJs.
Promise. I will get it.
Thank you.
But I want our listeners to make the same promise. If you are above 45, and I don't think it's a male female thing. I think it's anyone above 45.
Listen, that's right.
And what do they recommend? Every 5 years at that point?
10. He goes, I'll see you in 10 years. He goes, actually, I'll be retired before then. You'll see somebody else. And I was like, cool, man. Later. I don't want to see you again.
That works out great because it got your weekly 10.
10. There we go. 10 years.
Okay. Well, that's
so.
Cool.
Listen, at the end of the day, guys, there's nothing bad about the procedure. You don't even know it happened. The prep the day before sucks. You have to take You have to you have to go off food, clear liquid diet, and then there's two options. One is a liquid to drink to flush you out, which means you are using the bathroom constantly. Don't do that. I've heard it tastes terrible. It almost make you throw up just to get it down. I took 24 pills. So I took 12 in a row in about 15 minutes on the first day, and then 12 in a row on the second day. And then by the time I got there, I was good to go.
So what you're saying is the prep
is
the
horrible.
hard part.
It's horrible.
And the indoor
procedure's nothing.
part.
You don't even know it happened. Like,
So let me walk this in. So you're saying the prep
yes,
is the hard part.
the prep is the hard part.
So that's the topic of today's show.
Yay!
Not the prep of a colonoscopy, but the prep of an event.
There it is.
And,
There's the segue of the year,
there was
folks.
that
Here we
segue.
are on December 1st, 2021. Mike Walter has just done the best segue I've ever heard. Thank you.
So what is the DJ equivalent of fasting for 24 hours and taking these 24 pills? Let's start. And this is a topic we've been kicking around for a while, and it's about time we did it.
Yeah,
So what is the prep that you do for your events? Now, first of all, are you still contacting your clients for the first time a week before their event?
I was about to say yes, and I'm not going to change it no matter what Mike Walter says today.
I consider one of the great failures in my life the fact that I have not, for 5 years of this time, I haven't been able to talk you out of what a bad idea that is. But you know what? Just like the people who attended our workshop used to say, they liked it when you and I disagreed because it shows there's more than one way to do this business.
To skin a cat.
I would never reach out to my clients
I know
for the
you would.
first time. And as we'll talk about, I do reach out the week of their wedding, but it's a final email to go over anything final. So, all right. So a week in advance, it's a phone call at that point.
Well, I kind of just laid it out as the whole chain. You want me to just run through my chain first of what happens like the week of the wedding, and then you'll kind of do.
Well,
yours?
yeah, because yours is a lot more condensed. So go ahead.
It is.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Susie's getting married on Saturday. You don't contact her on Saturday, right? When do you?
Susie's
contact her
getting
on
married
Monday?
Saturday. She got an automated email Sunday prior. So let's just say.
So 6 days before her wedding.
Correct.
She
got an automated email. Hey,
saying,
Susie, I'm super excited about your wedding this weekend. Can we have a quick chat to go over the planners?
Okay.
I automated again Sunday.
Right.
So Monday, let's just say after me and Mike pay our payroll and cry in our cereal, then I would start looking at her planners. Now, there's one of two planners what I'm talking about. Either one, they went in their portal on DJ Event Planner and they filled it out, or two, they have a wedding planner that usually sent me that, I would estimate about 2 weeks in advance of the wedding.
Okay.
And I have put that in a Dropbox labeled 4 upcoming shows, December 10th, Susie Smith and Bob Jackson. Like, that is the name of that. So now I'm pulling this out or either logging into DJ Event Planner and I'm looking at the planner for the first time on Monday. At that point, I then, side by side, open up Pages, which is the same thing as Excel spreadsheet. I have a template. It's basically just boxes. Right. And at that point, I am copying and pasting over the high-level items. Obviously, ceremony, start time, so-and-so, so-and-so. I'll be glad to share that document with anybody that wants to see it. I'm basically copying and pasting over, because let's say there is a wedding planner on this wedding. And again, Mike, I would say that happens, for me, maybe one of 4 weddings. Let's just say 25% of the time I'll have a professional wedding planner. So, but again, her schedule started on Thursday with some kind of bride dinner,
Family
hair, makeup, shit, I don't care.
Right.
Scrub. Where is the prelude of the ceremony when Joe Bunn starts music?
Right.
So I'm copy, pasting. And as I'm doing that, in this spreadsheet, it's basically like 3 columns. So the time is one column, the actual event is in the middle column, and then kind of a notes is in the third column. So I'm putting question marks on things I have question marks with. Like if they just missed that part of the plan.
So let's say she hasn't filled in a recessional song yet.
Correct.
You're putting a question mark.
Correct.
Okay.
Or she skipped the part about how many microphones I need for the ceremony, because sometimes I do 3 microphones. Or I know the venue and the location, but sometimes cocktail hour is behind the house. Sometimes it's in front of the house. Like little questions like that. So I'm making notes on it. At that point, if you know, and then I check my emails. If she's responded, hey, yeah, let's talk today, tomorrow, whatever. If I haven't heard from her, I will then follow up again with another email and or text. Hey, Susie, just wanted to get, you know, before you get crazy this week, I want to talk. So now I've got the high level events on this sheet. I'm ready to talk to her. I've got all her music and stuff. Obviously, if she did on DJ Event Planner, the open dancing list as well. All the special songs were on the planner. And then I just do the call, 15, 20 minutes. Again, timeline. Is the first dance still this? Do you say your last name Jackson or Jackson? Right. and that's it for that part.
So does a client ever want to meet with you face to face at that point, or the week of? It's probably just too last minute.
Yeah, I have not. There's two things I want to say about this. I've never had somebody say, "This is upsetting. This is pissing me off."
Right.
Why are we talking about this?
If you would, you'd probably change it, or at least
absolutely. I would back it up.
What Mike Walter says, and I don't mean that funny. I mean, I totally agree. If you had clients saying to you, "I can't believe it's Monday of my wedding, and you're finally contacting me," you'd make a change. So
and again,
don't fix it.
And again, you got to 10x what I'm doing. I'm only going to do 40 weddings a year. So multiply that times 10, 400 weddings here in the Raleigh office, probably across the board. Nobody else is saying, Joe, like, let's re-examine this policy. Right. You know, like we kind of all do the same type
all right,
thing.
Don't be defensive.
I am. Sorry. So I'll talk about the rest of the prep because there's much more prep than just doing this. Do you want to kind of get into this part
so
on your
my
end?
initial contact is about a month in advance. As a matter of fact, we tell our clients it'll be a month in advance, and we tell our clients you'll hear from your DJ a month in advance. So up until that point, they've dealt with the office staff completely. And so if it's a Phil Walsh wedding, for example, or a Dan Famosa wedding, we tell them you're going to hear from your DJ, not from the office, about a month in advance. And then the automated thing in DJ Event Planner is 6 weeks in advance. So with about a 2-week buffer, Dan Famosa will get an email from us saying, hey, this wedding is coming up. You know, just a reminder, make sure you contact them in the next couple of weeks. So so let's go with one of my personal weddings. When I make my initial contact, it's always two ways. And this is something I'm driving home with my staff, and sometimes they ignore it. But if you call and email, they'll never miss a message. Every once in a while, we'll get somebody saying, hey, it's 3 weeks before my wedding. I haven't heard from my DJ yet. And the DJ goes, oh, yeah, I sent him an email last week. Well, one contact is not enough. Two will never go missing. So my routine is I call them. And 99% of the time nowadays, you get a voicemail. Nobody ever picks up their cell phone. So, hey, Susie, this is Mike. Just wanted to touch base, see how the wedding plans are coming along, and also see if we could set up an appointment to go over details. And then as soon as I hang up the phone, actually, because it's an automated or a pre-written email, I should say, not automated, but pre-written email, a DJ Event Planner, I usually send it as I'm leaving that message. Hi, Susie, just left you a voicemail, hoping to touch base so we can set up an appointment to go over details. So then they get back to me, and there's 3 options. We can either meet in person, which I prefer. I love meeting in person. We can do a Zoom call, or we can do a phone call, whichever, and I leave that up to the client, whatever they prefer. So then, I don't know if you're about to do this, but let me skip ahead to then when I'm about. So let's say we set up an appointment that day for a week later. Like, for example, today, I have 2 reviews coming up, one this afternoon, one this evening. Before one of them is a Zoom and one of them is face-to-face. Before I sit down with either one of those clients, I will open up their DJ Event Planner and I will fill in my crate. I will create a crate in Serato and fill it in with their requests. Okay.
Gotcha.
And the reason I do that is, number one, I'm going to have to do it soon anyway, so I might as well do it now rather than a week of their wedding. Number two, that gives me an opportunity to really go through all of their requests and analyze it so that if I have any questions when I sit down with them, I will be aware of, ooh, what's this song? I'm not aware of this song. Or, you know, or every once in a while, like DJ Banner, they can say, you know, they can give a comment. So sometimes I'll see like At Last by Etta James during dinner. So when I sit down with them, I'll say, hey, do you mind if I move this to dancing? Because that's a really great slow song for dancing. I'm afraid people. So, I mean, and I don't think I would be that aware of it if I didn't actually fill up my Serato crate.
Sure.
So now I sit down with them.
Can I just interject real quick? So now on the Crate Hackers app, there's a way to take that song list, put it in the Crate Hackers app, and it spits out a Serato crate in literally 5 seconds.
Okay.
So you can highlight that entire thing. I'll show you how to do it when we get off, or later this afternoon when you have a chance.
Now, maybe this is just an old guy saying, get off my lawn. But again, I don't know if I want that automated because, again, I like to physically go through and move all those songs into a crate because now I'm having a chance to actually look at them. You know
I mean, they're still going to be in the crate, and then you could just open the crate and flip through and start.
Right, I get that.
I get it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure people were aware of that.
And it's a great, listen, it's a great plug for crate hackers. I get that. It's a great advantage. And maybe a generation younger than me, you might like the automated part of it. I like the fact that I can still physically, and sometimes it takes me 15 minutes, but so what? That's 15 minutes. And it gives me an opportunity to really familiarize myself with all their requests.
With what's coming.
And also track down anything that I don't have. Like if I don't have something already, I'm going to go to promo only. I'm going to go to iTunes if I have to and buy it or purchase it so that I can. It does that too. All right. Yeah. Very good.
It shows you what you're missing and then shows you all the record pools and exactly where you click. Yes.
Wow,
go ahead.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. It's pretty badass.
So then I sit down with them and kind of like you do that week of, I go through their timeline. I go through all the requests. I show them if there's anything that they haven't picked out yet. Yeah. And one of the things I tell them, like, recessional is not filled in. I said to them, look, if you want to pick this out, you can, but if not, leave it up to me. There's, other than a wedding song and a parent's dance, I can pretty much like songs for introductions. If you want to take the time to figure that out, you can. But if not, leave it up to me. I'm the professional. Same. And I get a lot of clients that go, oh, thank you. That's one more decision I don't have to make. So I think I've talked about this before. I'm preparing a seminar for next year about customer service. And I think it's one of the things that good customer service is showing clients that you're the professional and they can rely on you. While I'm a big fan of personalization, I'm also... sometimes I think clients are like, fuck, I got to pick out everything for this guy.
Don't kill
let them know, right? If there's things you want, let me know. If not, just I can pick them out. Anyway.
Yep.
One of the reasons why I like to fill in the crate beforehand, and I know I've talked about this on the air before, when we get to their wedding song, I play it for them. Because I want to make sure I have the right version, because there are some songs that there are multiple versions and everything else.
Sure.
But then also when we're face to face, I will often make the joke when I hit play, do you want to practice? Yeah. And listen, 9 times out of 10, they chuckle and never get out of their seats. But I have had moments where clients go, yeah, sure. And we literally drag the coffee table out of the way.
I love it.
And they get up and dance. And that is a magical moment to me. It doesn't happen all the time, but I love when that happens. I think it shows a comfort that they have in front of me and I have with them. And so that wouldn't happen unless I had their wedding song literally at my fingertips.
I do like that a lot. I do. And going back to, to speak on Mike's point, and especially the face-to-face meeting of however many weeks it does end up being before their meeting, like the ones he's doing today, it makes their relationship, the couples with Mike, even closer, which then translates to a better party, which could possibly then translate, as you saw earlier this season, more tips. I'm not saying he does it for that, but it's the same thing with Randy. Randy does a great job of friending people on Instagram or Facebook right after they sign the contract. He follows their lives. He comments on their vacations. He, makes jokes under their posts, as it's leading up to the wedding. So by the time that they arrive at the wedding, they feel connected to him. They feel like he's a friend. You just said I don't do it for the tips, and you're right. I don't do it for the tips, but I just saw Wall Street again the other day. Yeah,
remember that movie from 80? Yeah. And there's a great line in that: "What's worth doing is worth doing for money." And and I agree with that. I mean, I don't do it for the gratuity, but if a end result is that I'm more likely to get a gratuity, well, then that's another reason to do it.
And if not for gratuity, guys, I can assure you this: there is no doubt that Mike Walter and his people, especially Mike, and especially Randy with my company, gets reviewed probably more than any DJ on the Eastern
Reviews
Seaboard.
And referrals. And also referrals. Yeah.
Randy 10X is my reviews. And it's because of that relationship, I think, that he's building the entire way. I I need to do better because he
So
is.
that's
like,
the
every day
meeting.
it's Randy. I'm like, God dang it.
So that's the meeting that happened. And for example,
Yes.
we're recording this on December 1st. My two
Correct.
appointments today are December 30th and December 31st. So they
Gotcha.
are almost to the date a month in advance. So
Yeah, you're right.
I contacted them last week, and this was the night or the day that was convenient for them. So now what do you do
Right.
after you? So you
Fantastic.
talk to your client Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, whatever.
At the latest, yep.
Is there another step in the planning process for you?
Yep. So then I would start to work on the music. Right. I would do. We've talked about this before on the air, and it necessarily doesn't. It's not Wednesday at noon. Like it's not any particular time. But whenever I start to have free time, I would start to work on the crates. So again, a crate or a playlist for the ceremony. If they had very specific cocktail and dinner music, crates for those. Special moments would have its own, so introduction song, first dance, mother, son, father, daughter, so on. And then an open dance crate, if they picked specific selections. Then I would also spend some time making sure that like I was up to date on whatever the current top 50 is or the top 100. Do I have the new Dua Lipa or the new Doja Cat or whatever, new Weekend, whoever's hot. Maybe I would try and find a little hidden gem, different edit of those, or even a new edit of an old wedding song in the record pools. So I'm a DMS member and who else do I like? BPM Supreme. Those are usually the two I'm kind of looking at. And then those crates are done. They're ready well in advance of the weekend, put it that way. For me, if I push that out to, let's just say I'm playing on Saturday to Friday, I feel very unprepared. I feel like I'm rushing or something.
Like it's a
like
last
that.
minute prep. Right.
Yeah, and I don't
Cramming.
like that feeling. Right.
Right.
I also want to say, unlike yourself, that was on this grind, or Jan I don't know that I can. That's a lie. I can because I used to. I don't remember the last time I did triple, quadruple, 5, 6 shows in a row. It's been years, and I don't want to ever go back there, quite frankly. It's not that I don't love it, but for me, man, honestly, if I play once a week, twice a week, that's plenty.
Let me tell you, the last couple of weeks I've had doubles and singles, and it is the sanity level is much greater.
Sure.
But the check on Monday is a little bit less. So
Sure.
I mean, there is a pro and a con. So all right. So now we move to the week of.
Yep.
And my routine on Monday is go to the office, cut payroll, get checks out of the way, and then weekend prep. And I just literally have that on my blotter for every Monday weekend prep. And again, going back to triples and quadruples, sometimes that was the rest of my day on Monday.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because when I say weekend prep, now I open up their planner one more time and see if anything has changed. And that's the only downside about filling a crate up a month in advance. Sometimes clients totally redo their requests. It's rare, but every once in a while, I literally have to delete their crate and start all over because they've made so many different changes.
Yeah.
But at that point, I am finalizing everything and also looking for anything that's still outstanding. So let's say in a month in advance, they didn't have a recessional and I sent them some suggestions and it's still blank in their planner. Monday, I will shoot them an email that says checking in for Saturday, if it's a Saturday wedding, checking in for Friday. And I'll say, hey, Susie, I just noticed there's still no recessional song. Did you want me to select that or did you have anything in mind? Blah, blah, blah. Same thing. If there's any other blanks, maybe they weren't sure who was toasting when I talked to them.
Yeah. Or if they were doing a blessing or no blessing. Right.
Yeah. And then in that email, that's where I remind them if there is a balance due. So after, hey, this, and this, I say, oh, and just a reminder, there's a $2,000 balance due. I'll need to collect that from you Saturday at the wedding. Which again, going back to the topic we talked about a few weeks ago, that people are up in arms that I collect at the day of. That is why 99.9% of the time people don't forget it. Because on Monday they've gotten that email.
The seed's been planted again.
Right. Exactly. And then the only other thing I do at that point at the last minute, I've got my main laptop and I bring a second laptop with me. On Monday, I transfer all the important songs over to my second laptop.
Oh,
so
nice.
Just in case I have a problem with my main laptop, the ceremony songs, first dance, and parents' dances are now on my second laptop. So just in case my main laptop goes down.
Sure. Smart. Really smart. So yeah, that's a good segue into the gear. At that point in the week, again, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, I'm also looking at the contract. What did they add? What in addition to Joe Bunn showing up and being the DJ and MC did they add? So at that point, I may see that they added lighting. So I need to go and plug up the Asteras to charge those because they're battery powered. I need to plug up the little dongles. I love that word, dongles. They go in the moving headlights. I need to make sure that the totems, which don't stay in the van, are packed. I need to make sure my uplights are charged and in their soft cases and ready to be loaded. So once I've got all that stuff charged, those kind of add-ons, or did they do cold sparks? Then I'll put those in the van, which has the main gear. It's got the command center. It's got the Evolve 50s. It's got, the majority of my gear. But anything except enhancement-wise, if you will, needs to be charged and put in the van. And then I usually do that Friday night or, last thing on Friday, get it charged, put it in the van. And then I know that on Saturday when I show up here and I got on my slacks and my Bunn DJ Company polo, that all I got to do is swap cars. I just get out of one. And
you never have an assistant, right?
No, that's not true. So the last 6 months, Mike, I have had this kid.
Oh, that's right. You have your guy that also shoots content.
He's been shooting videos, right? So for about 6 months.
What's your communication with him? At what point do you confirm with him?
That's a great question. Usually I'll speak to him like on Wednesday, after I've kind of prepped the wedding. And he lives about 25 minutes outside of Raleigh and Garner, I think, or Clayton.
So it's a phone call at that point.
Right. Or I text. I'll say, Saquon, we're at the blah, blah, blah inn. Just meet me there. Or we're at the blah, we're somewhere near the office. Meet me at the office. Right. So ideally, he was hired to, and again, this goes back to the me and Mike Walter can't seem to ever really turn it all loose to somebody else. Like, ideally, I wanted him to be on my van insurance, to show up at the office, him swap cars, get the van, take it, load it in, and I walk in with a laptop in my suit and tie, pristine, never drop a bead of sweat. Right. 15 minutes before the intro, make him do the ceremony, all that bullshit that I hate. Right. And 15 minutes before the introductions, I walk in looking like Mr. Fresh, have not dropped nary a bead of sweat, and it just never worked out like that. I still go with him, and I still help load in, and I still do the ceremony.
Yeah, people tell me I should do that, and that's why I don't, because I'm going to pay some guy a ton extra to do what I know I'm going to be there to help him do. I just know it. The reason why I asked how you contact him, what I have found with my assistants, is I will text them during the week, but what I'll do is I'll look up the location on on Apple Maps, and then I'll share the location with them.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll say, meet me there 4:00 on Saturday. Cool? Right. Question mark. Boom. And then this way, I know they're going to the right location, because every once in a while there's like there's a Galloping Hill Country Club and a Galloping Hill Catering Hall up rails. They're only 10 minutes apart, so if you go to the wrong one, but you want them to go to the right one. So I'll send them the location. But then this way also on Saturday, when I say, well, what time do I have to go today? All I have to do is look at the text that I sent Mixer and say, oh, yeah, we're meeting there at 4. So and then you can also click on the map and it'll show you with traffic how long it's going to take.
How far. Right.
Yeah. So, and then the only other thing I wanted to mention is if there are songs that your client is asking for that you are unfamiliar with, part of your prep should be familiarizing yourself with those songs.
1,000%.
And this is the joke my older brother made recently. I was talking about prepping, and I was talking about how I had a client that I think had asked for 20 songs that I had never heard of, that I wasn't familiar with. So I spent the afternoon, and he's like, so my brother Mark was like sarcastically, so you spent the afternoon listening to music? I'm like, well, it's a little bit more than that, Mark. Yeah, when they're dance songs, I'm setting up my cue points. I'm looking for jump points, like I've talked about in my recent seminar, in case I want to skip by it quickly. So yeah, there is a little bit more involved, but you owe it to yourself to, if it's a client request, not be hearing it for the first time at their event. You need, and then also sometimes you can go, oh, this is a good dinner song. And a matter of fact, if they've got a dozen good dinner songs, or even just 5 or 6, if you want to save yourself a few minutes, make a mix of it. Put those songs together, and this way maybe you can sit down with the vendors and share a quick meal.
Grab and eat.
So you're doing that kind of prep as well.
Man, I couldn't agree more. Especially for me, if I have any sort of ethnic wedding, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, and I don't like. They specifically said, Joe, these need to make it into this mix. Like, I want to hear these songs. Like, I have one
this weekend. My Friday night wedding. She's Portuguese, and I have a good collection of Portuguese music. But she has given me some other specific ones, and that was part of my prep on Monday. Yeah. I was listening to them, setting up my cue points. Trying to figure out, okay, this one will go good after this one, that type of thing. So this way, Friday, I'm not listening in my headphones, going, "What would this?" And
panicking. Right. Yeah. And you want to. You just want to come off so professional, you know what I mean? Right. Because that's not your specialty. You're not, again, I've told the story a million times. Every time I do an Indian wedding, it's happened 2 or 3 times where I'm walking in and they go, "Oh, the setup guy's here," because I'm not Indian. And I'm like, I'm not the setup guy. I'm the guy. Are you sure you've got the music? I've got the I'm good. I promise. It's going to be fun.
One other thing I wanted to mention, I think I've talked about this before, and I definitely showed it during my latest seminar, Get With the Programming, available now at djmikewalter.com. When I have dedications on a song, I write that into Serato. So let's say At Last is going to be dedicated to the bride and groom's aunt and uncle for their 30th anniversary, right? I will write that in on At Last. I will change the name of At Last, and it'll say 12/3/21, dedicated to blah, 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 30th anniversary. My goal is, other than introductions, I never want to be looking at a piece of paper during the night. I would rather be looking at the crowd, looking at my computer. And so all of my information is right there in front of me. I don't have to keep referencing their notes and going, don't I have a dedication tonight? I see it right in front of me. So that's another thing. And then as soon as you play the song, you just delete that. You delete that comment.
Yep. I did leave that out on that Pages document, or that spreadsheet where I put the planner. That's sitting to my right on an iPad, kind of propped up the whole night. And at the very top, of course, the very top line is always going to be their new last names. So Caroline and Bob Smith. That's I
got video footage once, raw footage of one of my DJs many years ago, and he shall remain nameless. But the camera pans and the dance floor is packed and it's high energy, and we get to the DJ booth and he is literally looking down at his clipboard like this. And if you're listening to this, like he's going through order taking. And I was like, dude, you look fucking bored there. You look and he's like, well, I was checking their notes and I was making sure I was playing everything. And I'm like, that's the moment that I said, I never want to be looking at paper during a gig.
Lick your thumb.
He's literally going through his clipboard like this. And I'm like, well, it looks like it's the first time you ever saw their notes. Didn't you spend any time familiarizing yourself? So anyway, that's why I do that. And the reason why you put the date in is if you forget to delete that comment, 2 weeks later, when you see the comment, that's a past comment, I can delete that.
I love it. Speaking of, Mike, on one more shameless plug.
Did we see enough in this?
OTDIM.com, On This Date in Music, is Mike's book. If you don't have this book, get it. It's a great Christmas gift for yourself, for your friends, for your family. OTDIM.com is the shortened link. I just went over 55,000 on TikTok.
Look at you.
I just made an ad for you, so I'm going to post it later on TikTok today, where I actually hold the book up and I'm like, you guys like these stories I've been doing since the beginning of September? I got 75% of them from this book right here, OTDIM.com. So anyway, last shameless plug. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving. You were at the beach?
I did, man. I did. Nice. I went down to the beach and it was good, man. Good. And, had a good time, man. And
my mom was out for the entire week.
I saw that.
We had a great weekend. I only had
sleeping
one
on the couch.
So spent a lot of time, and my mom never wants to go to bed, so she constantly is nodding off on the couch. But it's cute. I mean, it's great.
It's adorable.
It's great to have my mom with me for a week and chit chat and everything else. And even the drive home yesterday, we were hitting traffic, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I got to sit through this." I'm like, "Mom, I get an extra 2 hours with you.
Come on,
who cares?"
She's great. She's great. Awesome. Well,
she is.
Thanks everybody. And
do we want to tease next week? Can we do the? All right, can you do the alphabet?
Can I give me 3 seconds to look. Yes, I
Dude,
can.
it's really
Tease
not that hard. I did the prep for it the other day.
Okay.
All right. So
what is it?
this is the Jay Sims idea that he says we did, but we never did. So I think we're going to do it. So party songs by letter.
Yep.
So in other words, the best party song that begins with the letter A, the best party song that begins with the letter B. And by the way, I found an X and a Z. So there's no reason we can do the entire alphabet.
Okay.
Now, what I did, I set up a crate. I've got my favorite, but I've also got like my second, third, and fourth. Like, oh, this one almost, because some letters were virtually impossible to just pick one.
So we each have 26. Is that right?
We're going to have 20 there. So I think it'll be interesting. Just like with the top 41, it'll be interesting to see where we agree, where we disagree. I think your hip hop roots will probably come through a little bit more.
Okay.
Where my pop dance roots will come a little bit more, through a little bit, but it'll be interesting.
So A through Z, we're doing that. And then also, Mike, maybe the week after
27, that. Because also a number one. So there are a number of songs that start with a number.
Like 1, 2 steps. Yeah,
exactly. So yes. So that'll be, we'll start with it. Just like when you sort things in alphabetical order, you always get the number. So we're going to start with the numbered one and then A, B, C. All right?
Okay. All right. I love that episode. And then I also, I'm going to have to go back to my messages now. I don't remember if it's a DM on Instagram or a Facebook message, but we have a guest coming on soon from the West Coast. He wants to compare East Coast weddings to West Coast weddings, like the formalities, timelines, things like that.
We'll call that episode The Right Way, The Wrong Way.
Mike just reignited the East Coast West Coast feud right there.
Because great. Because let me tell you this: people on the West Coast ask for East Coast weddings. Nobody on the East Coast asked for a West Coast wedding. That tells me
I have never been asked to play.
In New Jersey, no one has ever said, hey, can we do a North Carolina style wedding? Never, ever, ever. Nobody has ever said to me, hey, I went to a wedding in the wine country in California. Can we do that style? Nobody has ever said that to me. But
I have had people play me like a New York wedding here.
Or a New York style wedding or Chicago style wedding.
Sure.
That tells me which one's right, which one's wrong. But
there we go.
I will. Do I know this person? Do I know who's coming on?
Now I'm spacing on.
Sounds like you don't know.
I do, okay. But I got to go get a haircut. Now I'm spaced out. All right.
Well, that'll be a future one. But next week is definitely the A through Z.
A to Z. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.